20 hours of research. You can't say, oh, that's good, I'll buy it. Now, again, we try to point in the right direction here on the Smart Investing Show, investment-wise, but we do tell you to do your research to understand it. Let's talk about the Facebook scams. They're just out of control, and there's no way of tracking the exact number of scams or the dollar amount lost from scams on Facebook and Instagram. But J.P. Morgan Chase said between the summers of 2023 and 2024, they accounted for nearly half of all reported scams on Zelle. I was like, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of interesting. I see scams all the time on, YouTube or like the comment section. I'll see people like, oh, I lost my crypto wallet. It's like, okay, we're going to delete that one, mark it as spam. Or, I do see them on Facebook and Instagram, and it's just like, I hate to say it, but you're like, how do you fall for that?
I know a few people that like, I can't believe I did that. It's like midnight, and what was I thinking? I wasn't thinking. I was half asleep, and I did it, and I lost, $500. And it's just like, I tell people, anybody talking, it's like, always be critical.
Yeah.
Say, nope, that just doesn't make any sense. Delete it, be done with it.
Yeah, and I think I was less surprised by that number. I was more surprised by this number. An internal analysis from 2022 found that 70% of newly active advertisers on the platform are some form of scam or low-quality products, and that's on Meta, Facebook,
right.
Instagram. That is a big problem when you think about that. And it makes me almost question, too. It's like, well, how much of Meta's advertising revenue is at jeopardy if it's truly coming from these scam artists?
Well, because again, you said 70% of newly active advertisers, so those new ones coming on, are platformed for some type of scam or low-quality products. I mean, that's frightening.
Yeah, and I would venture to say, I mean, Meta does do over $160 billion in advertising, but the thing I look at is I bet you that 70% new that came on, they're probably very incremental in terms of the dollars. I mean, you look at like a Coca-Cola, right. You look at, the big players out there. I don't know why Coca-Cola was the first that came to mind, but it is. The big companies are probably spending much more lion's share of the amount of marketing dollars of that $160 billion. That 70% of newly active advertisers that are scams, I mean, they're probably spending, I don't know, $1 million, $2 million. So it's not like it's a huge percent, right. But I would be very curious.
And it's not 70% of all the advertisers. Yeah. It's new ones coming on. Mm-hmm. And that is a concern on the growth of the business, because if your new advertisers coming on, about 2/3 are not doing well or having good products, that could be a trend that's not good for Facebook. You did mention the $160 billion advertising, but also, too, in the Wall Street Journal in 2024 discovered documents, and this one is just terrible, that can be hit, advertising can be hit with anywhere between 8 to 32 automated strikes for financial fraud before the accounts are banned. So, I mean, that's a lot of fraud. Like,
32? Yeah.
32 times. I mean, you do it once a week. That's more than, half a year. Yeah. And you keep going and go. How many people can you rip off on that? I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, you have to think about the reason maybe Meta's a little bit hesitant to do it. Obviously, they don't want to put restrictions that could prevent growth in their ad business. I mean, right. That is their moneymaker. That is the gravy that allows Mark Zuckerberg to go out there and put more money into AI, to put more money into, gosh, I forget his other bets that he had, just the virtual reality basically stuff. The what did he like? The like the goggles, and I mean, he has so many other things that he is interested in outside of Meta and Instagram, but that is what is allowing him to do these other bets, is the fact that advertising brings in such high margins, such strong revenues.
Yeah, those goggles that you put them on, you get all dizzy when you...
the virtual reality. Gosh, there's another thing that I just never understood when, we were going to live in this virtual world. I can't remember the name of that, but I'm drawing a blank on it.
Yeah, I can't think of it either, but it's not what I want to be doing. Meta has argued in court that it's not their legal responsibility to deal with the issue of all these problems they're having. Section 230, which comes up a lot, you hear that a lot, I know Trump's brought it up many times, in the U.S. telecommunications law, relieves platforms like Facebook and Instagram from the liability of users who create their own content. That's a difference, because all their content comes from many different people. They're not creating it. These other people, and they say, hey, it's not our fault. We're not doing the content.
Yeah, I mean, it is maybe a good safeguard, but I do wonder if that should be challenged, especially when you look at this. I mean, this kind of blew me away, but it is being tested by an Australian mining billionaire because Facebook failed to remove fraudulent investment advertisements that used his image and AI cloned voice. I mean, that's like somebody essentially stealing our content or stealing our likeness and being like, invest with Wilsey, and then they use some other platform
Right.
to direct that to. I'm like, how is that legal? That should not be legal. I mean, that is definitely something I hope he wins.
Yeah, I hope he does as well, because that is kind of frightening there. And I would have to recommend that people stay away from using Facebook or Instagram for buying from advertisers on their platforms, because you could be dealing with someone from China, Vietnam, Philippines who have stolen pictures, or familiar companies. We've seen this happen, that you think you know you're dealing with, but it even includes the address. And sometimes they can just put a dot in a different place, so you think you're dealing with UPS, but it could be UPS dot or UP.S.
Yeah.
You don't recognize that, and all of a sudden you just sent money to some fraudulent company. It's so easy to scam people.
Yeah, you got to be careful. I know we got to move on here, but I just remember
yeah.
the word. It's metaverse. That is the other place.
Oh,
that he was spending.
metaverse.
Meta,
That's right.
metaverse. Gosh, I don't know why it took me so long to remember that. But anyways, we got to move on to Salesforce because we're going to run out of time.
Oh, okay, yeah.